You are Locked On Red Sox POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Boston, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, the Red Sox are giving us hope. A successful Saturday for the Red Sox. Cooper Criswell at Fenway going to full 5 innings. Tyler O'Neill went deep, not once but twice. And the Red Sox have now won 2 in a row, back-to-back victories against the dreadful White Sox. Take Saturday's game 7-5, up 7-2, hold on for the 7-5 victory, clinch the series. And now the Red Sox put themselves in a space where they complete the series sweep over the White Sox on Sunday. Let's call this right now a step in the right direction. With that, we welcome you into our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast. I'm Steve Lennox, longtime play-by-play announcer, Major League Baseball on ESPN Radio, college baseball on the ESPN networks, Longhorn Network, ACC Network, SEC Network, 10 years in the minors, national show host on ESPN Radio and satellite radio, and a guy with a dangerous amount of useless baseball information. We are providing reaction every Red Sox game on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, as well as the Locked On Red Sox podcast feed, which is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. On the latest Locked On Red Sox postcast, we're going to talk about the Red Sox picking up a game in the AL wildcard standings. We're going to talk about Trevor Story and his return to the Red Sox lineup. Tyler O'Neill, Romy Gonzalez having big nights at the plate, and Gonzalez a big night running the bases, and the Red Sox are taking care of their own business right now. We do want to hear from you, our everydayers and our first-timers. Join the conversation, watching live on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Hit the comment button, join the Sox conversation. You can also hit me up on the X, formerly known as Twitter, at @LennoxOnBaseball, with questions, comments, or concerns. Our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast is brought to you by Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB. Use the code, all lowercase, Locked On MLB, to win $50 instantly with a bonus when you play $5. So like Friday night, the Red Sox fall behind against the White Sox. Cooper Criswell retired the first 2 batters in the first inning. Criswell manages to pick up the win. He gave up a single to former Red Sox first-round pick Andrew Benintendi, and then Andrew Vaughn touched him up for a 2-run home run. Criswell got the final out in the first inning, and you're thinking, okay, perfect 4 innings last time out, 2 runs allowed in the first inning. How long does he have Saturday night? Well, he manages to go 5 innings. He leaves the game with a lead, and that White Sox lead was short-lived. A lot of their leads this season have been few and far between, and many short-lived. The Red Sox came right on the attack. Very first batter, Jarren Duran, great approach. I love when left-handed batters look to go the other way. And Garrett Crochet is a guy you want to look to go the other way, left on left. Duran did that. Base hit down into left field. Then Rafael Devers with maybe the oddest swing that I've seen from Rafael Devers this season, but almost a 3-quarter swing and hooked a double down the right field line, second and third. Rob Refsnyder loved it. Because what Rob Refsnyder did was a productive out in many ways. Sox struck out in order in the 7th inning and again in the 8th inning. 2 strikeouts, a 2-out walk, and then a strikeout. But Rob Refsnyder in the first inning put the ball in play. Great things happen when you put the ball in play. Not only did he put the ball in play and get Duran in from third to make it a 2-1 deficit at that point, but he got Devers to third. Less than 2 outs, Devers at third. Devers walked home on the 2-run home run by Tyler O'Neill. And I've said it for weeks now. If the Red Sox are going to put things together, I said it with 4 weeks to go and a month to go in the regular season, now less than 3 weeks to go, or after Sunday, less than 3 weeks to go in the regular season, 20 games left total. Tyler O'Neill is going to have to put together a strong September. Maybe he got things going in the right direction on Saturday night. His home run in the first inning, putting the Red Sox in front, and it turned out he put the Red Sox in front for good. Red Sox got another run in the first inning as well, as Romy Gonzalez had a single, a couple of stolen bases, and he scored on a double, I think, what was it, by Connor Wong? Yeah, by Connor Wong. 4-2 ball game. Red Sox at one point led 7-2. Andrew Benintendi, the former first-round pick out of Arkansas for the Red Sox, 7th overall back in 2015, hitting a 3-run home run against Chase Sugart, former Longhorn, and the former Razorback getting the better of the former Longhorn 3-run home run made it a 2-run ball game. Red Sox did not add on anymore. 7-5 the final. Slayton, outstanding in the 8th inning. And shame on me. I didn't give enough credit Friday night talking about the bullpen. Saturday night, Slayton, scoreless 8th inning. 1-2-3 frame. Kenley Jansen, 9th inning. Apparently dealing with a little bit of a lat issue. Last time out, we know what happened. 5 walks between Kenley and Rich Hill. 3 walks with the bases loaded. And not only did Jansen not get out of the 9th inning, he had to hand the ball over, but so did Rich Hill. But Jansen dealing with a lat issue, apparently okay, ready to go. 1-2-3, 9th inning, picked up the save. We'll talk about Cooper Criswell a bit more coming up in segment number 2. He'll be part of Numbers of the Night as well. But that quick response in the first inning, and it was a Fox broadcast. Nice to hear Don Orsillo on a Red Sox game. A.J. Pierzynski had some interesting thoughts during the game, I thought. Some observations. It's a national broadcast, so the analyst is going to have stuff that he picks up probably from other analysts, emails, texts, things like that. Not going to go deep into numbers. I thought A.J. Pierzynski did a nice job. I'd give him a solid B, maybe even close to a B+. And he actually does a very nice job as an analyst in the booth. Different than his show, different from what he's done on social media, different what he's been in studio over the years. But Friday night, it was, and you got to do this against a team like the White Sox. You can't give them any type of hope. And this is a team right now, the White Sox, 111 losses now in the season. They don't have a whole heck of a lot of hope coming to the ballpark each and every day. And you can't allow them to be in the ball game in the 6th, 7th, 8th innings. They got back into it, but the Sox bullpen able to hold it and take care of business. But again, I was impressed by Justin Slayton. Did the job in the 8th inning. Red Sox led 7-2. They pick up the victory, 2 over 500. 20 left. Is 15-5 the rest of the way possible? I said it Friday night, and yes, I'm already scoreboard watching. And A.J. Pierzynski made it clear when he was a player. He scoreboard watched all the time. It didn't matter if it was September, August, July. He was always looking at the scoreboard. But right now, and I said it Friday night, the Royals won the opener against the Twins. I said, you know what? You basically have to root for the Royals the whole weekend. Royals won Friday night. Royals won Saturday night. So the Red Sox are now 4 back of the Minnesota Twins. The Mariners did lose. Detroit early in the game against the A's last check, and it was a low-scoring game. How about that game Friday night? Check out that box score. I think it went 14 finally. I was sort of box score watching. I didn't put the game. I did put the game on the radio, on satellite radio late when they got the final out. But I think it ended up going 14 between the Tigers and the A's. But you got to get rid of the Tigers. You got to get rid of the Mariners. You got to put them behind you and leave them behind you. You've got to be looking up at just the Twins and catch them. And we know it's a 3-game series with the Minnesota Twins coming up right around the corner, right? And A.J. Pierzynski, again, said it on the Fox broadcast with Don Orsillo. You've got to be within 3 games. You can't be 4 or 5 games back of Minnesota in that series. Because after that series is over, you have to have help again. So you've got to be within striking distance where you can sweep the series and be even with them. You can't take 2 out of 3 in that series. You almost have to sweep them. You can leave that series down a game, but it's going to be real hard to leave that series down 2 games. That's looking ahead, but you're sort of mapping it out right now. Until they're mathematically eliminated, this Red Sox team gives you hope. And I haven't stressed it enough. Even if they fall short, with after Sunday 3 weeks left in the regular season, this is tremendous opportunity to grow, to develop. Duran, Rafaela, Wilyer Abreu. With each game now, these at-bats become more important. And this could lead to better development down the road. That's why when I started this in June, and they took 4 out of 6 against the Phillies and Yankees, and I know I keep going back to reference that, but when they went 4 out of 6 in that series, and they just kept building on it, and they got to the point where they got to the All-Star break, and they were season high 10 games over 500. Now, I thought that All-Star break came at a perfect time. They stumbled out of the gate. They've stumbled here in the second half of the season. Maybe they're starting to put things back together the way they should, the way they had it. They were getting the hitting. They were getting the pitching. Not just enough pitching. But lately, starting pitching, you've gotten it. Now, Bayo gets pushed back. We'll touch on that. I don't know who the starter is. I don't know that the Red Sox right now know who the starter is. Based on circumstances from Saturday, probably determines as to what happens on Sunday, but it very well could be a bullpen game. Quinn Priester did pitch earlier this week at the AAA level with Worcester. Richard Fitz, kind of on schedule to start. I'd love to see either one of those guys. Tell them to come up, and you're going 4. Like you did last Sunday with Criswell. This is our plan. Your 4 innings. But then if you have to, adjust the plan accordingly. And if you get 4 or 5 innings out of a Priester or Fitz on a Sunday, and then you've got the bullpen the rest of the way, it's better than just using the bullpen. It really is. You used 4 relievers on Saturday. How are you going to mix and match the bullpen on Sunday if it's straight bullpen? Sugar, inning and a third. Bernardino, 2/3 of an inning. Slayton, Jansen, both an inning. How are you going to mix and match the bullpen when you're getting ready for a series? That's then putting the pressure on Brian Bayo for Monday in the opener against the Baltimore Orioles. So how are you putting that together? I'd rather see Fitz or Priester and give them an opportunity. If they lay an egg, at least they had the opportunity. With us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, hit the comment button and join the Sox conversation with us. Let's hit it real quick. Shooting Smoke is with us. The bullpen tried to give it away. Sugar is a guy I like. He gave up the home run to Benintendi. Bernardino got 2 outs with a strikeout. Slayton and Jansen both worked scoreless innings. 1, 2, 3 frames combined for 3 strikeouts over the final 2. So one guy gave up a 3-run home run, allowed the White Sox to get closer. Was the heart beating just a little bit faster as it was a 2-run game? Yes, it was. Would you have rather have had it a 7-2 ball game, Sugar for 2, Bernardino for 1? That would have given you 8, and then Slayton I would have taken for the 9th inning and not used Kenley Jansen, or maybe even not used Slayton. Maybe you could have gotten 2 and 2 out of Sugar and Bernardino. We saw what happened with Bernardino a couple of outings ago when he tried to go a full 2 innings. Didn't work out too well. So Shooting Smoke, 3-run home run, Sugar, inning and a third, 3 earned runs, 4 hits. But what hurt him was the leadoff walk in that inning as well. And A.J. Brzezinski did reference that. But you take it and you build on it. And you hope, you've put yourself now in the situation where you needed to complete the series sweep against the dreadful 32 and 111 loss Chicago White Sox team. Sweep on Sunday. You've got to figure it out, whatever the pitching is. I don't have the TV on. I don't even know if Nesson had a post game. Probably not with the Fox broadcast. I don't know right now who the starter is. Maybe I can look at Twitter here at some point in time. Trevor Story returns. Of course, the first ground ball and first out of the game recorded by Trevor Story. The ball's going to find you, right? Red Sox turned 2 double plays. They weren't they tailor-made, whatever you want, however you want to describe them. But the Red Sox turned 2 double plays. They've turned double plays recently, but how many times have we seen? And I've speculated if Story was in there on the front end of a 6-4-3 double play or a 4-6-3 double play, that maybe some of the double plays that weren't turned over the last handful of weeks, maybe Trevor Story would have been in the middle of them and helped complete double plays. But behind Criswell, we'll touch on him coming up in the next segment. Trevor Story returns. It's a successful one. And he did have an RBI with a run batted in on a single as well. So the Sox pick up the win, clinch the series. They'll go for the series sweep on Sunday. Back-to-back victories for the Red Sox and 2 straight wins at Fenway. Everything you need. White Sox are now 79 games under 500 the lost Saturday night. 4-22 under interim manager Grady Sizemore. 5-40 since the All-Star break. Sweep the series on Sunday. Plain and simple. Hey, speaking of Sunday, Patriots opening up the regular season. On the road Sunday against the Bengals. Mike Debate hosts Locked On Patriots. Cam Stewart has you covered with the Locked On Patriots postcast. That does follow each and every Patriots game all season long. Locked On Patriots postcast, part of the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Locked On Patriots podcast available wherever you get your podcast as well. Cooper Criswell and his night plus are at bat of the night. Those are next. Steve Lennox with you. Locked On Red Sox postcast, part of the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Sorry, I'm coughing there. One thing we don't have is a cough button. Hey, Locked On Red Sox postcast, Locked On Sports Boston, your team every day, presented by Ibotta. Ibotta is the free app that lets you earn cash back every time you shop. Earn on hundreds of items from groceries to beauty supplies, even toys. So you can make sure you are beating inflation no matter what you are purchasing. The average Ibotta user earns $256 a year. That could help you cover the cost of an entire shopping trip, that flight you've been eyeing, or a fancy dinner that you've been craving. Other apps are going to give you points that we know don't really amount to all that much. With Ibotta, you can earn cash back. Then you can withdraw to your bank account, PayPal, or gift cards. Simply add offers to the app, upload your receipt. Viola, the money is yours. You can save on over 2,400 brands and shop at over 1,000 retailers, including your favorite grocery stores, Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and plenty more. It's time that you joined over 50 million users that use Ibotta to earn cash back every time they shop. Right now, Ibotta is offering Locked On listeners $5 off for just trying Ibotta. Use the code Locked On MLB when you register. Just go to the App Store, Google Play Store, download the free Ibotta app, start earning cash back. Use the code Locked On MLB. That is Ibotta in the Google Play or App Store. Use code Locked On MLB. Steve Lennox with you. Locked On Red Sox postcast. Red Sox victorious 7-5 against the White Sox at Fenway on Saturday night. Trevor Story, Cooper Criswell, their nights in just a moment. Took myself off camera there, so you didn't at least see me cough. You may have heard me, and for that I do apologize. Want to acknowledge our everydayers for making the Locked On Red Sox postcast their first listen every day. Red Sox, 6 more series left after the series wraps up against the White Sox on Sunday. After Sunday's finale, just 3 weeks left in the regular season. Sox do pick up the victory. And they got to Garrett Crochet, hang a loss on him along the way as well. Don't forget, part of the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel right now. Join the conversation, hit the comment button, and share your thoughts on the Red Sox victory. We've heard from Shooting Smoke. We want to hear from you as well, as the Red Sox do pick up the win. And Trevor Story did have an RBI base hit. That came in the third inning. Romy Gonzalez had an RBI double. Trevor Story RBI single. Tyler O'Neill, his second home run of the game. That in the fifth inning. O'Neill is 6th time this year where he's hit 2 home runs in a game. He's now got 11 multi-home run games for his career. And I do wish, and maybe the Red Sox do re-sign Tyler O'Neill. Maybe that happens. Free agent after the season. But for me, I think he's playing in his final games in a Red Sox uniform. I think he goes elsewhere. Now, could he be a 4th outfielder and a right-handed DH? Yes, but is that the right-handed bat you want? You want to add a big-time right-handed bat in the offseason. So I think Tyler O'Neill ends up going elsewhere because he's going to want more years and probably more dollars than the Red Sox are going to be willing to give up in that deal. But Tyler O'Neill, if he can have a big September, the Red Sox are going to be right there in the final week. And with everything that has happened since the All-Star break, really, I think you take that. Could the Red Sox have made it easier on themselves here? 100%. But in that month of August, O'Neill injured, out with an infection in his calf muscle, the different things. 27 home runs now? Over 50 RBIs. He's knocked in himself more than anyone else on the Red Sox team this year, just about. But if he can have a good September, Red Sox are going to be right there. They need that right-handed bat. And if he can hit you, I'll take the strikeouts as long as he's hitting a couple more home runs. If he ends up, what's he got now? The 2 home runs. So what, 26 and 27 on the season? Yeah, 27 on the season. If he hits 5 to 7 more home runs in a month, you're going to be right there. And I'll take that. Get a Cooper Criswell here in just a moment. Shooting Smoke. I really liked how they got to Crochet quickly. Me too. And I was looking forward to seeing him pitch, and I didn't realize his pitch count was only 60. And that was an early topic for Don Orsillo and A.J. Pierzynski. And they talked to Grady Sizemore before the game. That's not changing. He may actually go down to 40 to 50 pitches the rest of the way. I guess they think that saves him. But understand, no matter what you do to try to protect a pitcher, he could go down at any point in time. We know that. Crochet or anyone else. So you think you have his best interest in mind? And yes, they do. but he could blow out very easily, no matter how much you try to protect him. And what are they saving him from right now? And really, I said it Wednesday, or I think I said it Wednesday. Maybe I said it again Friday night. Days are starting to blend together. Garrett Crochet should not have pitched at Fenway Park Saturday night. Garrett Crochet, the second half at the trade deadline, should have been moved by the White Sox. Now, there was a lot of stuff going on there leading up to that trade deadline. So he didn't get moved. But the White Sox aren't going to be a team that's going to compete just like that in 2025. So if you can go out, and the Red Sox certainly should be in the conversation. Crochet's on the market during the hot stove season, November, December, January. You have to, hey, what's it going to take from our organization? You absolutely have to at least be in the conversation. Then you sign him to a long-term deal, if you can. He wants one. I think he'd be ready, willing, and able to sign, unless he does, just wants to go to free agency. I think he's got 2 more years. He's got 25 and 26. I believe that's what it is. But if you're the White Sox, you're not competing realistically for another couple of years. Why? Get something for Crochet that, and then, it's like Tarek Skubal with the Tigers, who are all of a sudden in the mix for that third AL wild card. If they had traded Skubal at the trade deadline, and I don't think we really know how close the Tigers were to entertaining real trade proposals, but the Tigers are showing that they can compete in 2025. They're competing right now for a third wild card spot. If they're truly competing over the next couple of years, what do they need? Tarek Skubal, frontline, number 1 starter. Garrett Crochet can be that. But when he started demanding things, or at least that's the way it was coming out in media reports, that he wanted an extension, or he wanted this, or if he got traded and he didn't get an extension, he was going to pitch in October, all those different things, that put up a red flag for me. Cooper Criswell. Couple of numbers on Criswell that I'm not, you know what? I'll keep those for the numbers of the night. But Criswell giving up that 2-out, 2-run home run in the first inning, got a couple of ground ball double plays, gave up a 2-out walk and a 2-out single in the third, got out of it. E3 in the second, allowing a 2-out base runner, nothing really going there. Had traffic on the bases, but again, got 2 ground ball double plays. Criswell's going to be interesting in the future for the Red Sox. He really is. Because he's showing some ability. He's showing some moxie. He gets ground ball outs. Can he be one of those guys that bridges the gap to the end of the bullpen next year? A 2-inning guy out of the bullpen that gets ground ball outs and an effective reliever. In a perfect world, Criswell, I think, is part of your bullpen next year. He's shown that he certainly should be in consideration, but go out and have a good spring training in Fort Myers and in Florida next spring, and make them have you part of the pitching staff. I don't really call it a pitching rotation anymore, a pitching staff, where he could be a spot starter. I always go back to the Mets and Aaron Heilman from years ago. Didn't like that role, wanted to be a starter, understood that if he was going to be paid in the future, it was going to be as a starting pitcher. But Criswell is a very interesting one for me. I'm not saying he's Chase Anderson or Brad Keller, where he's coming in and you're down 5 runs or you're up 5 runs. He could be a legit 2-inning guy. I don't know that he's an 8th-inning guy, but if you can shorten the game, that's the guy. That's the kind of guy you want. I don't know. Ideally, he's probably going in, when you look at the potential starters for 2025, you'd probably want him as, your 7th or 8th option, 9th option, but certainly deserving of consideration to be a part of the pitching staff for 2025. He's done some nice things this year. Tough to go with the at-bat of the night. I really want to give it to Refsnyder for that RBI ground out in the first. I'm going to give it to Tyler O'Neill with a second home run of the game, because sometimes I pile on Tyler O'Neill maybe a little bit too much. He frustrates me, strikes out way too much. But I'll give Tyler O'Neill our at-bat of the night here in segment number 2. As O'Neill hit the home run in the 5th inning, at that point, made it a 7-2 ball game. Red Sox struck out in order, including O'Neill, against Chad Kuhl in the 7th inning. Justin Anderson, a couple of strikeouts, a walk with 2 outs to Jansen, then Rafael struck out in the 8th inning. They struck out a lot late in the game. But they put the ball in play, had great approach early on against Garrett Crochet. And I sort of checked out on Crochet a little bit. 4 earned runs allowed, takes a loss now 6-11, ERA under 4. I sort of checked out once I knew it was the 60 pitches, and they got to him in the first inning. I think he threw almost 30 pitches, maybe even more than 30 in that first inning. And I sort of checked out on him because I knew he wasn't going to last long. So I sort of checked out a little bit on Crochet, was looking up some numbers, took a phone call, was watching the screen, but really wasn't watching the screen with Crochet. And then they went into the bullpen. And they'll be into the bullpen again tomorrow. Chris Flexen has not won in a long time, and you don't want him walking away from the ballpark on Sunday with a victory as well. Trevor Story, solid defensively at shortstop, RBI base hit. Right now, you want that defense. And it was interesting how they aligned defensively. We thought double play, do up the middle, second and short, Rafael Story. That wasn't the case. Get into that next. Steve Lennox, Locked On Red Sox postcast. Red Sox have won 2 in a row, go for the sweep against the White Sox on Sunday afternoon at Fenway. Locked On Red Sox postcast brought to you by Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, you against the numbers. All you have to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends. Become part of Prize Picks community today. You can now win up to 100 times your money with Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn your $10 into $1,000. Sign up today, get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB. Get that $50 instantly when you play your $5. Locked On MLB on Prize Picks. $50 instantly when you play $5. You do not need to receive a win in order to pick up that $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. So Trevor Story returns. Liam Hendricks doesn't look like he's going to return, at least during this White Sox series. Locked On Red Sox postcast, part of the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, your team every day. So the Red Sox, again, reinstating Trevor Story from the 60-day IL on Saturday. With that, infielder catcher Mickey Gasper goes back down to AAA. Never did pick up his first big league hit and his first major league stint. Red Sox, it was interesting. They recalled, it was a paper move, but they recalled right-handed pitcher Isaiah Campbell from AAA Worcester, then placed him on the 60-day injured list to make room on the 40-man roster for Trevor Story. So that's sometimes how teams are able to sort of play things out and, work that 40-man roster. Still have not seen Luis Guerrero. Was hoping in a 7-2 game that we would see Guerrero. I would think we would see the 24-year-old make his major league debut on Sunday. His first appearance in the big leagues will come, or his first appearance in the big leagues will be his MLB debut. And I looked this up. He'll be the 9th player this season to make his big league debut with the Red Sox, and he's going to be the youngest of the 9 as well at 24 years old. So the Red Sox, 2 games over 500, 20 games left in the regular season. Come up with numbers of the night here in just a moment. But a good win for the Red Sox. Let's hit the comments section here for just a moment. Shooting Smoke is coming back in here one more time. Shooting Smoke. I about stroked out when I looked over and saw Gasper in the batter's box last night, meaning Friday night. I do think that's a move that has to sort of, that was a move more of, have the 2 catchers available, DH. We saw, and I do want to talk about the defensive alignment here to start the game at least as well. Casas with a lefty, not in the starting lineup. I can understand that because Casas he's got to break out of it eventually. Got off to a great start, and everyone was saying, be cautious. He's not going to just hit right out of the bat. Well, he took a little time, took some walks early on in that Orioles series, and then all of a sudden was getting his base hits, and you thought, okay, carry this to the end of the regular season. Really hit a downturn there on the road trip, Detroit and New York against the Mets. So Casas was out of the lineup, came in late as a defensive replacement. But Gasper, I don't even think he saw time as a third catcher on the roster when they had Wong and Jansen. They were trying to play both those right-handed bats in the lineup. That really didn't work out. Now, Jansen, we all kind of looked at it when they picked him up just before the trade deadline from the Blue Jays, saying, is that the only right-handed bat they're going to get? Well, they tried it, and they tried to have Gasper on the roster, but they really shortened their roster. And then Hamilton went down, and Smith left the organization with Costas coming back, and you had Gasper there. Again, these guys making their big league debuts, 26, 27, 28, 29 years old, they're great feel-good stories. But when Gasper was up there, hit a couple of balls hard, but at him balls, right at guys. And then he started a game, and then he was in a game in the number 2 spot in the lineup. No, that should not have happened at all. At all. And was he the reason they were in the funk? No. But should he have been in those situations? Not really. Were they trying to? And every time he got in at bat, shooting smoke, even last night, you're thinking there's going to be moves the next day. He's going to be part of those moves. Well, it finally happened today. He was sent down. Not off the 40-man roster. They're able to keep him there. So they could bring him back up again. But you were really shorthanded with him at the end of your roster just because you wanted to try Connor Wong and Jansen in the lineup at the same time. So Wong gets a start at first base. He did have an error in the game. This is not the time of the year that Connor Wong should be playing at first or second base. Romy Gonzalez has had some games at second. Put Gonzalez. I don't care. Left-handed on the mound. Put Gonzalez at first base. Put Sogard at second. I don't second-guess Alex Cora much. I second-guessed last Sunday when Criswell, like everyone else, second-guessed when Criswell came out after 4 perfect innings. Criswell went 5 on Saturday and managed to pick up the victory. That's less important than just getting one more inning at him. But, again, thinking going into Saturday, looking forward to seeing that lineup around 4 o'clock when people post it online, members of the media. There's Connor Wong at first base. And there's Cedar Rafaela in center field. I know there are reasons for why they put the lineup together the way it was. But you have better options. Put Gonzalez at first base. Put Sogard at second. Put Rafael at second and Gonzalez at first base. Give Connor Wong, let him DH. You had Refsnyder DH. Okay, I can take that one. Or sit Connor Wong and use him off the bench late in the game if you need a right-handed bat. But if you're saying that Cedar Rafaela is going to be your second baseman with Trevor Story back at shortstop, then put him there. Rafaela needs to find a position. Actually, let me say that again. The Red Sox need to find an everyday position, I think, for Cedar Rafaela. I think with that, you'll get a more consistent hitter at the plate, although he does need to cut down at the plate as well. Shooting smoke, Sogard, really good infielder. I wish he could figure it out at the plate. Me too. That's valid. Absolutely, 100%. That's valid. But he puts together decent at-bats for the most part. He'll work counts. Numbers of the night, then we're going to get out of here. Criswell, Cooper Criswell, again, singing his praises. But 4 runs allowed total over his previous 5 starts, including Saturday night. Red Sox are now 12-5 and his 17 starts on the season. That's a nice number. For really, again, a fill-in guy, but 12-5 in his 17 starts. Back end of the rotation type of guy. That's a good record. Criswell, 3 earned runs or less in 15 of his 17 starts. That's outstanding. The Red Sox managed 10 hits in a ball game. It can be done. 2 home runs, 2 home runs, both by O'Neill, 3 doubles. Add it all up, 5 singles, 5 extra base hits. That's Red Sox baseball. Romy Gonzalez, by the way, 3 stolen bases. The 10 base hits, I double and triple check this number every day. The Red Sox went 17 straight games with less than double-digit hit totals. 17 straight games, 9 hits or less. That ended on Saturday night. They'd also gone 6 straight games, scoring 3 runs or less. That ended as well in the first inning with the 4 spot against Garrett Crochet. And it's just the second time in a long time the Red Sox had a 4-run inning. Garrett Crochet, first inning Monday. Remember a few weeks ago, I think it was right around August 16th, that series against the Orioles, they took an 8-3 lead against Corbin Burns with a 4-run inning to go up 4-3, or 8-3 rather. They ended up winning the game 12-10. Who won that game? Cooper Criswell, by the way. But the Red Sox having that big inning, and a 3-run inning or a 4-run inning right now for the Red Sox, that's a big inning. No Brian Bayo. No Brian Bayo going on Sunday. He's pushed back to the Orioles series. And whatever reason they give for that, I think I'm really fine with it. But I really want to know how they're going to go about completing the series sweep in terms of the pitching on Sunday. Royals won over the Twins 4-2. The Mariners lost. That's good news for Red Sox fans. Just going through this, that went away because my computer, for some reason, does not like the ESPN scorebook page. 4 back of the Twins, 20 to go for the Red Sox after Sunday, 3 weeks left in the regular season. Bayo pushed back. TBA, sounds like a bullpen game. Boy, what I either like to get off here on the Locked On Red Sox postcast or see it first thing Sunday morning, it's either Priester or Fitz coming up from AAA. Maybe they already knew. If they did, they kept it a secret. Otherwise, an opener and the bullpen when you use Slayton and Jansen both for an inning each on Saturday. Be interesting how this plays out over the next couple of days. But you need a sweep against the White Sox. And you're not going with Bayo. You're pushing him back a day. Tomorrow's must-win day. Before you get to Monday, you have to win on Sunday. Speaking of Sunday, we're going to be on within minutes of the last out with our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast. We want to thank you, our viewers, our listeners on the podcast, and also those who join us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel as well. Thank our sponsors, Ibotta and Prize Picks. We do thank you for making the Locked On Red Sox postcast your first listen every day, free and available wherever you get your podcast. Locked On Red Sox postcast and Locked On Red Sox with Gabby Hurlbut as well, available wherever you get your podcast. We go live within minutes of the last out of Sunday's finale against the White Sox with the Red Sox at Fenway Park with the latest Locked On Red Sox postcast. Locked On Sports Boston, number one place to hang out immediately after every game. Locked On Sports, your team every day.